Why sensual relaxation is different. It's not the same as generalized relaxation. It's a somatic experience. It takes priority in the body. Now, we like to do, well, I'm going to speak for myself here. If I could do everything in my brain, I would. It's so ironic considering what I do for a living, because I like to do things in my brain where I can make sense of things. But sometimes the innate intelligence of the body has to make sense of it for you. So you've got to have a somatic experience while you're here being in this form that you've incarnated in. Sometimes we have to work with it, not against it, not try and do everything from the heart up, but include everything, including the innate intelligence and wisdom of the body and how we receive pleasure and conscious touch. Conscious touch is very much a sensual experience. It's part of sensualness, but it's not necessarily sexual, but it's still intimate. One of the most intimate experiences I ever had was when he rubbed my feet in the hospital and I fell asleep because I felt so vulnerable. So that was incredibly intimate. But was it sexual? No, not at all. So you can use the sensualness techniques for healing and for pleasure because they release oxytocin. Oh, I promise you I haven't been drinking. It's just been a long day. Conscious touch releases endorphins and oxytocin, and life force energy is deeply linked to sensuality. So also things that happen in yoga classes with the life force energy, the root chakra, all of those things, it's not necessarily sexual. It can be. So don't get me wrong. Some people have a Kundalini awakening, which is a massive orgasm that rubs through the body and they know what it is. There's no mistaking it. If you're saying, have I had an orgasm? Probably not. Because when it happens, you pretty much know what it is. And it's called le petit mort for a reason, the little death, because it takes us into a different state of consciousness. So we need to learn to consciously make this energy accessible to ourselves and not just be using it for sexuality. We need to be using it for intimacy and for sensualness. So you can use all of these techniques just for creating connection and relaxation and therefore healing. So especially when you're running into something difficult in your relationship, that is illness, surgery, all of those sorts of things, if you've got these techniques under your belt, you can keep your intimacy up. You can keep certain pleasure levels up without being bound to expectations or the same sort of intimacy you've been having your whole life. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And this is happening faster and faster and faster in our world at the moment. Because we can't stick with what we always knew and do what we always did, because then we get what we've always gotten. So sometimes we've got to let go of things that are very difficult. And sexuality is hugely difficult for most people. Even just to talk about it is really difficult. But often when people find out what I do for a living, they're like, oh, can I talk to you? But not in front of those people. Let's just go over here. Because they've all got questions and they all want to know things. And we have very few spaces where we can talk about this stuff just openly as a discussion of the body as a holistic being.